Here's my Logic Wi-Fi or internet radio. I bought it, it must have been around 2007, and probably the main reason for getting it at the time was I was very fond of Radio Netherlands, the Dutch international broadcaster. They were leaving shortwave, but they were continuing with an internet or web stream of their English language programs. Oddly enough, that didn't really last for very long, and now Radio Netherlands is no more. But for a couple of years, you were able to listen to Netherlands via these Wi-Fi radios. And if you're familiar with them, they basically receive internet web streams. It looks like a radio. It's got its own built-in speaker. But obviously it requires no antenna. All it requires is a connection to your Wi-Fi signal from your router. Now, the problem with these receivers is they depend on what is known as a portal. And the portal is a kind of a server that the Wi-Fi radio connects to. And that gives the radio a list of available stations and directs the radio to the internet address, the web stream of that particular station. And using a radio like this, and the portal that this radio worked with was called Reciva, R-E-C-I-V-A. You can see there's stickers all over it referring to Reciva. You could have a choice of tens of thousands of radio stations that had an internet presence all over the world. And you were able to go into the menu system of the radio and search by country, or search by the type of music you were interested in, or whether you wanted a news channel or a talk channel or whatever, and you'd have all of these things listed, and that was great. But unfortunately, something's happened fairly recently. This kind of exposed the weaknesses of these devices, and that is that the Reciva Portal has closed down for whatever reason. It is no more. Now, you may think, well, what am I complaining about? I've had the radio since 2007. It's still working. Look, it switches on, and it still receives. This is WRN, North America World Radio Network. You can hear that. That's on one of the memory channels, and I've got music channel here programmed in. So won't leave that on too long. I've got a Radio Caroline there, and we've got Radio Poland external service in English. So yeah, radio still works. The problem is, because the portal no longer exists, I'll just zoom in slightly on the radio so we can see the screen here a little bit better. Because the portal no longer exists, what would normally happen if I now wanted to change one of these presets or find another station that I was interested in, I'd press the menu button here, and you can see here we have stations listed, and press that again, and then we've got the three choices. Now, if I wanted to find an African local station, one of the African countries, let's just go back, it's timed out. We go to stations, we'd press again, location, and then at this point we'd have a list of countries, continents and then countries. Let's go to all here, press again, and it just defaults back to internet only. Press again, and we actually get the comment, no station list available. That's because the Reciva Portal has closed. What this means is that while my radio will continue working on the presets that are programmed into it, I've got no way of programming any more presets. And if any of these stations, any of these broadcasters change their web address for their radio stream, I'll no longer be able to receive them, because I cannot alter anything in this radio. Now, obviously, I've had the thing for, 14 years. It wasn't particularly expensive. I'm not particularly worried by it. I have other internet radios that are linked to other portals that still work. But it does go to show that while if you had a shortwave receiver, you're always going to be able to tune around and find a station. There's always going to be someone broadcasting. it only takes a business decision or someone to pull the plug on an internet portal, and these devices become nothing more than useless. I haven't got much complaint. As I say, I've had this for a long time. It wasn't particularly expensive, and I've had my money's worth out of it. But up until very recently, there were receivers being sold, Wi-Fi radios like this, I believe mainly in the US, that were still linked to the Reciva Portal. And some people will have bought these and they'll have found that within a year or two, their nice shiny Wi-Fi radio has become useless. So just a little warning, if you see anything second-hand by way of a Wi-Fi, an internet radio, if it's linked to the Reciva Portal, don't bother, because it's not going to work. So there we are. It was a little bit of radio, but it isn't radio, it's internet, but a little bit of a warning there. The Reciva Internet Radio Portal finally closed. The closure was delayed for a little while, and this carried on working up until, still working properly, I think up until about a fortnight ago. And I turned it on today just to see, and I can see now that the portal's closed, and I can't get anything other than the stations that are already programmed into the radio. Okay, thank you for watching.